We'll go ahead and call to order the regular meeting of the City of Loogootee Redevelopment Commission. We can all stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Miss Alvarez here. Dave Smith
Here.
Dana Strange
Here.
Mark Chief is not here. Justin Perico.
Here.
Treasurer, Secretary, the board, Roy Perico, President. Mayor Brian Davis.
Present.
The attorney, Tim Tyrwell, is not present.
Get a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting. If everybody's had a chance to take a look at them.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Dana. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Samantha. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Old business. We have discussed several things at the last meeting. We did go ahead and get the appraisals on the properties that we discussed there next to the flower shop. We gotta sit down and talk with Mr. Osborne on that still, but the average, one came in at 19.4, the other one at 20,000, so gotta take the average of the two. You're at 19.7 for the three lots there.
For each lot there?
No, that's for all three. So basically you're at, what, 66.67 per lot. And with that being said, you know, we'd like to look at getting the other ones. I've talked to Rosie, and they're still deciding what they want to do or what they don't want to do, and you know, still an active talk. We'd like to be, because we've got our one piece of property there right next to Rosie's building, so we'd like to get that and get a fake facade, go after some money, get a facade put up there, and try to do something with that property. So that's where we're at on this. So I think Dana, Jeremy are supposed to sit down and talk.
I just sent him a text, so.
Some point. So
Is there any talk of an incubator space?
that was talked about at one time, yes, trying to do something. There's some concerns on that too. You know, if we put a facade there, coming in and out of the back with an incubator, but you know, if we do purchase the property, you know, we're gonna have to put a fence up along the back for all the apartments and stuff for parking. There's a few things that have to get worked out and stuff like that, but
I didn't know if you did incubator on the lot that the city already owns. Since it's
not
not here.
much room there.
Wouldn't take much to do it.
Yeah, put a little container there.
Yeah.
Meters.
And that was talked about, and we were talking with Jessica Potts with the Martin County Alliance about that, and we looked at some models as far as bringing something in and doing something like that, but we want to make sure that when we're doing this, it's something that's, we're gonna have to back it if it's gonna be doable, so.
Yeah. I think the key the mayor's talking about too is we can do an incubator space in the sense that we could almost build like a back wall back there with painters and come up the side, and then be able to lease those out for whatever. And then that way we have the parking behind for the apartments and stuff. Because we're not going to use a full 75-foot backdrop. We'll probably use 50. And I know Jeremy was concerned about parking for his apartments.
55 feet.
So that way we can at least put a back wall back there with something. It could be the containers, just a couple small containers, and those could be part of that incubator, at least until we move ahead on something else later on down the road. It might be a couple of years.
I would think with our local businesses that we have that do the portable buildings, you can almost do a portable buildings there.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's talking about, not really.
Something like that.
container,
It could be
but
anything, but yeah.
we've actually have looked at a company, actually out of Bloomfield. They moved and they've got some really nice setups for some really nice buildings and stuff like that you can design it however you want. You know, if you want to make coffee, if you want to do donuts, or if you want to, you know, do a fish shop or something like that. There's all kinds of different things that can be curtailed to that as far as in the design. So
it's opportunity for some, because with the newer houses that people moved into town, I know with my rentals, I've had a lot of people move into the area that wasn't in our area. So we're growing, and there's not much zoned or B1 in town. for retail space.
So, but that's where we're at on
Of
that.
course, we gotta get it bought though.
Samantha, bring you up to speed. I know we talked with Jake Miller that has the property behind the car wash, the old Shady Estates property and stuff like that. We've actually been talking with him. We sat down this last week and met with him last Thursday. Can't remember which day it was.
Maybe last week.
And Dana and Coach here, Coach is the president on the board here in Dana, so instead of having a quorum or anything like that, just had Dana, Coach, had Mike Engelman, myself, Nathan Weidler, who's the engineer on design on that, Jake Miller, who else was here? There was another.
His daughter, Nathan's daughter.
Yeah, his daughter. Then Daniel was here in Bo from the city. And we've actually come up with several things that we're looking at doing, but I've got to get with our city attorney, which we're going to get together this week. And there's a lot of different things. And I don't want to go over anything particular right now until we get this all lined out and it's in stone, but I can get with you a little bit later on, just kind of let you know where we're at, what's been discussed, get your 2 cents worth still, and go that way. So, we have worked some things out there, you know, as far as what we'd like to see done first. There will be some requirements. There's gonna have to be a road and different things like that. So then also John C. Strange Street, which when you come off the highway is pretty, you know, for 2 cars, but when you go back, it's not. That's one thing we discussed is if we get this development, you know, we're gonna have to make that road wider and stuff to make it, you know, better traffic flow. So there's a lot of things we're looking at here. Bring you up to speed.
Okay.
You got any questions or?
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay.
No,
So, I don't know, we did have someone inquiring about east of Loogootee. We've yet to sit down, he's yet to come in yet, but I know they were looking at possibly, there's some acreage out there, doing some homes out there and looking at services and stuff like that, but, I'd like to see, if we're gonna offer services, I really believe we need to get things in the city of limits. So, because it doesn't benefit us to be the, you know, have that much wear and tear on our system if we're not gonna get any advantage of it from a tax standpoint. And I'm only one voice, but, you know, something we all need to look at where we're going and stuff like that, so. Anything else? Any new business? I will say the deal with Jake, we've got to get that. Part of that is he is going to do a voluntary annexation into the part that's not in. But we want to get all this ironed out with like the February meeting. Dana, was that what we were talking, Dave?
Well, there's a January 28th meeting we're meeting with Justin.
It's 28th,
That was to rezone that one area though, possibly.
And that's
we're
talking
gonna
about
have
the
to
TILs too.
rezone on, but it's actually for you guys, for the planning commission to vote on the TIL.
Yeah.
And then they say yay or nay, whatever. Then at that opportunity, his annexation, his property will be zoned as R2 and they vote on that.
Yeah, because I know we just had that meeting the 29th, and they're gonna have a lot of paperwork ready for the
They're supposed to have it
February
for,
meeting,
for the January
for the 28th, and then,
But at least in the meeting minutes, the vote will still carry.
Yeah.
We'll get to pay the later.
We'll talk about that triplex too that guys want to put in, right?
That's before the planning commission, the BZA, the board of zoning appeals. That is before, and it is a triplex on that corner lot by, well, we're calling it a corner lot by Los Amigos. It's an alley behind Subway.
Yeah.
That's a busy road, so that's a corner lot all day.
well, one thing I will say we need to look at there is parking situation, stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
there's,
kind of-
I've seen the drawings and there is no parking. I don't know if I've shown any of you guys that yet, but there asking for reduced setbacks. Even if we say yes to what they have, you can't fit a car in anywhere. It was tight before when we had the 2 trailers over there.
Yeah.
They'd have to park parallel with the road. I don't know how they can pull that off.
Who owns the alleyway?
Huh?
Who owns that alleyway?
It's a city alleyway.
Okay.
The property line's up to the city or the alley, but there's no way of having enough setbacks.
Because, I mean, the subway uses it as their exit for their drive-through on the other side.
The Himbers use it for their house too.
Yeah, and there's that storage unit too. I believe you have access on that side, the storage unit. Along that street there, that's at the corner.
Yeah, it's
I think they use that as well. So it's a busy alley.
I mean, is it doable to sell that alley to that guy? That portion over there by his
It'll be
lot?
taken away from Roger and Subway and the.
It'll be landlocked.
Yeah,
That's why I don't know.
Yeah, because it should be classified as a street all day, in my opinion. I don't like the term alley anymore, as much as it gets used.
Do we need to make it a street?
Smaller,
Yeah.
smaller, make it parking somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I know we're speaking out of terms, because I know that hearing's not until next 2 weeks, whatever, but I just think it needs to be reduced, for sure.
But we also got to figure out what the right of way is off the city street there.
Well, they were supposed to have a survey.
Because, you know, that parking there where everybody parks, where Rogers' property is across from Los Amigos, that's actually city right of way there. So that should follow down.
Yeah.
To the west.
And to see, Helms 44 is the one putting it on.
Right.
They also own the property behind the old trailers too. So if there's a way, they could probably reduce the rear lot size to make that corner lot larger. But they'd have to have a resurvey and all that stuff, and then new land markers. But I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, that's all the 28.
Well, worst case scenario, they have to reduce the 3 doors down to 2.
But still, I'm still saying the setbacks aren't even, I mean, for the dimensions, there's still no setback.
Well, they could redesign them. They can always go up. Yeah, it's 2 stories.
Yeah.
I just, to err on the side of caution when we do this stuff, and I know you guys think about this in the planning, but, you know, whatever decisions are made, when you change stuff like that, it's gonna affect decisions down the road on other stuff. So
I know.
We gotta be sure
We
we're,
open the door for other.
we gotta be consistent.
And that place is so congested.
Yeah,
The
I
parking.
have no problem with rear setbacks if you put up a privacy fence, right? But there's no, on corner lots, there's too many angles of, you gotta have setback on, it is 20 feet on each side. It's hard to negotiate any front or side setbacks.
So let me ask you a question. Is it 20 feet from the center of the road, or is it from the
No,
edge?
it's from property line. According to our ordinance book, our planning and zoning book, it states from your line. It's not the road. That was a misconception long ago. It reads from our property line.
Does it need to be changed?
No, especially when it comes to corner setbacks, if you want that corner visibility, it's a lot stricter. That's why if you look at the fence going up by your house, Justin, what's his name? Sorry.
Block Millers.
Thank you.
Well, Jason, what, about that?
Right. So you know what I'm talking about. That fence, that's why that corner of that fence is at 45. It's so that he has that corner visibility. The corner visibility comes in effect at the center of the road 20 feet back when it comes to fencing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to structures, dwellings, it's 20 feet from the property line on both sides of that, wherever there's a street. So that, I don't think we should change that.
Is there some properties that have like a grandfather clause? 'Cause,
Yeah, so like.
I've
going
seen
down North
some
Line
houses that
Street, you go
porches
down
right
North
there.
Line Street, you're lucky to have 20-foot front yard, but you
Yeah.
can stay in uniform. So if you tear down a house, put a house back up, you can stay in line with those houses. You can't intrude any further towards the street.
Okay.
You may only have a 12-foot setback from your property line, because I think we don't always have those sidewalks. So I think some areas, I think we may own the sidewalk, I'm not sure, so you wouldn't have 20 feet of the front.
That's what our right of way is.
But as long as the adjoining neighborhood is all in the same, you can stay in that uniform.
Okay.
20 feet you can park. It's hard to get a car to park at 20 feet. Especially.
So yeah, that also allows for parking too, because the structure itself has to be 20 feet back from property line, so that gives you that buffer for driveway, parking.
So when you talk parking, you're talking parallel. You're not talking angled or straight in.
Straight in is hard at 20 feet.
Parking on North Line's a disaster.
That's all.
Well,
You got a guy coming this way and a guy coming the other way, you gotta stop.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, what's bad over there at Los Amigos is, happened to me last week, there happened to be two guys with long bed crew trucks on each side of the road. And man,
Well,
I don't care about my brown truck getting banged up. I don't want
But,
any-
but that's, but
well,
that's-
the thing over
Yeah.
there, the thing with over at Los Amigos is on the side street there, or not, the street running, they're parallel with it. All that parking has to be more of an angle. They're gonna lose parking there, but it has to be so we can get,
Angle parking instead of, yeah.
yeah, and that goes for the other side. You gotta get it to where, you know, the angle it's not gonna be a 45, it's gonna be a lot more than that to get your parking and have it for a safe way for people. And the other part is we've gotta get it painted to where there's no cars on these corners anymore, you know, because that's the biggest issue. They're blocking the line of sight.
Yeah, they block the stop signs a lot of times.
So like going forward, that's why like that 20 foot and like the new developments at Country Court, that's why we have all these setbacks to be saying, so you don't have another issue like North Line, where there is no front yard, there
You
is
come
no
up Butcher
parking.
Boulevard, and try to get on North Line, and those cars are right there, and you can't see. I mean, I'm surprised we don't have more accidents there.
Wait, which street, I'm sorry.
Well, it's
Coming off
as you
Vincennes
come off
Street.
Vincennes and Butcher, coming up to get on North Line,
Oh,
right
yeah,
there at that
so
corner. I mean, that's
we've
ridiculous.
addressed that,
You're talking right
none
now
this
about
year,
Lamar's
obviously,
house. Yeah, it's
last
really
year,
bad.
I think it was October and November, 3 times with the Bakers. That's who owns that. Was it Jeep?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's been, previous chief has spoke with them and stuff. I can let Case know and see about getting her to move it again. Cause there is a setback. on
I
I
parking.
don't know how many times I've seen people just, there's cars coming, they try to pull, and they got stopped. I mean, they come
If
close.
she just goes 20 foot back, then she's in compliance.
What's your curb rating there? What's the curb space?
Probably not a curb, is there?
There's no curb there. So that used to be right there at that corner where, Vectron had their gas. Remember, it used to have the gas place out there. They removed all that, but there's still some, you know, used to be the,
I don't think any corner, any teen street in town, you'd have a setback, you should be able to paint
We
it.
can put a hydrant there, and then you can't park within 50 feet of it.
the thing of it is
Even if it's fake.
we'll probably got to back and stuff like that and put up signage that says no parking from here to the corner. That's the way you correct that. So,
But Dave's right, it's,
Yeah.
you couldn't pull a truck or trailer,
No way.
there ain't no way. Especially since Helms has built that duplex on that corner, they park on North Line Street.
And you've got the cars there to turn, and right across the street they're parking, so you've got very little room even in a normal sized vehicle to turn. It's a disaster. I'm surprised we don't have a lot of accidents there.
That's some of the wider part of North Line Street too.
you have to give everybody credit for knowing how to drive.
Yeah, I mean, just like Bloomfield Road. you know, nothing.
I would ask the redevelopment commission here to start thinking, just, you know, it's all new and everything like this. We've got a lot of development going on, but we really need to look at places that, not that we have a lot of money or anything like that. I mean, with the property that was sold from the city for the Oak Street Villages, buildings down there, apartments, I'd like to see that get transferred over, put into the redevelopment commission. You know, it's $350,000 that we didn't have, but we could use it for redevelopment, and that would be if we need to fix, you know, we use that for, I don't wanna use it for this, but we could, but, you know, hopefully we get through other needs with community crossings, but widening of Walker or William Street from the highway up to the corner there of Walker Street, you know, I've already put that in the pipeline for the next go around, but, you know, stuff like that, or if we need to look at purchasing property for something, you know, and different things like that, so.
Did we not, just have part of that to go for something on the country court?
I'm sorry?
That money from the old street, did we not earmark some of that for country court for additional money we were putting in a few years back, or was that something?
Nothing's been earmarked for that money yet, 'cause we didn't even get it till this past
I know we,
October,
we
November.
met with Jason and Marv, remember, and they,
We took that money out of edit fund.
okay,
So
It
with,
was $138,000-$139,000 extra.
we didn't talk about that one, okay.
Cause the city with the ARPA money And when the bids came in over, it was short, 200 some thousand, but we changed a couple things, so it got down, I think we had 600,000 for the ARPA and 138 or 39,000 for the edit fund that we went back and put in, so we got about $739,000 out of funding there for that, and that's why we did the TIF district,
Okay.
so we could get all that back, and
I just know we had met with them
yeah,
our first year, and they needed 200,000.
yeah, it was 220 some or something like that, I can't remember actually.
So we came
But-
over and got 200.
Yeah, and we ended up doing, they backed out some of the engineering on it and stuff like that, so we was able to save some money on that spot of it. And, it was I think it was 138 or 39,000. I'm thinking the 138. But, you know, what's another thousand? So, that was one reason I was pushing for TIF districts and stuff, so we can recoup that money for the, you know, and they've got, let's see, what, 5 houses under now, 6, there's 5 more to go still.
And that could be used to help widen that road too, if it needs to, coming off the highway there.
Yeah, I did approach the church out there, possibly of running a street straight through over to the cul-de-sac, and I talked to Jason about that the other day. Church wasn't really wanting to push forward on anything, and Jason said, well, if we did that, we'd have to take one lot out and probably move it here and give it widen these other ones, so didn't really want to look at doing that yet, so
So the church is saying no?
basically, yes. So, but as you go to the south, where the house is close to the highway here, that road comes straight out. And I spoke with Jason, eventually, you know, that was gonna be a road that would come out and hook to the highway there, possibly to have another route in and out, but it's all gonna depend on what happened with 231, with Mid-States Corridor and all this stuff. So I mean, that's been years down the road, but I'd like to see if there's some way we can get something done sooner, work something out, but I don't know what, you know, the cost is. Coming up over that hill, they worry about line of sight and wrecks, so you get, you know, it's a $50,000 study just for traffic, just to see what's there. And if you widen it, do anything like that, you turn lane, you're talking all kinds of money.
So while we were on the topic of parking, so with Harvest Health coming in up on the square there, how will that impact that parking?
It's not gonna be there.
Still 2-hour parking there though, right?
That's what
For the 2-hour parking,
there is.
that's all
They
2-hour
should.
parking.
It's not enforced in front of our building.
It's
No.
not.
I mean,
Well,
where we're at, it's
are
never.
you 2-hour too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everything around the square is 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Is there
And we're
some?
off the square,
Well,
you're on Main
yeah.
Street.
In
We're
front,
on the corner of Main and
Yeah,
231.
yeah, so
It's not
that's all
enforced.
2-hour parking.
there's no 2-hour parking in front of the apartments, New Beginnings, or T-Ball's office. But West Main Street's 2-hour parking, and everything around the block there, where the bank used to be and where the barber shop is on the other side of the case, that's all 2-hour parking.
So,
It's
so
all
where do we
place.
get this correct? So East Main, and is it North Line takes off there?
East Main,
Everything
North
up
Line.
North Line on the barber shop side
Yep.
around the fountain is a 2-hour parking.
Around that whole block, to the
Monday
back,
through Friday.
to the back of the block, the same way.
Supposed to be.
So on North Street,
Is there signs up for
There,
it?
there
Yeah.
are signs, but it's just not.
it's never been enforced.
I understand, I just, clarification.
That was put up there probably whenever all the old meters were taken out.
That used to be meters back in the day.
Yeah, I remember the old meters. Yeah.
And, you know, that's one thing we're faced with now, is the fact that we've got some things going on, and, you know, I think, Harvest is gonna have to have 25 parking spaces.
Well, that was my question. So how is that going to, I mean, what's,
They're gonna have to work out some type of deal with
And
running
they're
with
gonna have-
scissors or something.
They're gonna have handicap too. So.
So the handicap's probably gonna be better right in front of their building than the rest will
It's
be
not
over
being
there.
listed
Yeah.
as-
because behind the building in the old bank parking lot, they don't own that. That's those
No, that's-
individuals that bought that.
Well, this last year at the Summerfest, we didn't have anything on there, because
Yeah.
we were requesting not to have anything on there, so that's not even usable. So parking's gonna be a huge issue.
It'd be nice to go back to those meters. That way the city could get some money.
Oh, they can,
It's parking is hard for our patients because a lot of them are older. And we don't have a handicap spot on our side. And so they have to cross Main Street, which is hard because those cars come whipping down 231
Yeah.
pretty close.
And you go like,
Or they have to park on 231, which they don't like to do either. So it's hard, and a lot of them complain because they have to park way far down.
That's such a bad intersection right there
It's
too.
a horrible
Yeah.
intersection. We watch homeless drives every day.
People coming and going and
we
backing
can
up,
take that fountain out and make that a parking lot.
put a little ramp up on it.
I make a motion.
Well, unfortunately, we just got the fountain fixed, so that's probably not gonna happen.
Well, give it time.
you know, people just can't park not at the door, they're gonna have to walk.
Well,
Where the parking lot.
I don't know where they're gonna park unless they park in front of the church there.
Or the
They can
body
park
shop.
down Railroad Street.
Hawkins will get tired of that.
They
well,
can park
the
down
other thing,
Railroad Street parallel.
we're not gonna allow, we're working on an ordinance for no parking around the city square either, because that's a hazard.
Yeah.
Cars parking in and out.
The actual fountain itself.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about up to the fountain area.
Yeah.
No
Up against
parking
that
around there.
concrete. retaining
But by
wall.
doing that, you can actually take and straighten up all the parking in front of New Beginnings and the apartments there, because at an angle, you're gonna lose, you lose one on this end, you lose one on that end. So if you straighten it up, and you do 9 foot spacing, you should be able to pick up at least one, if not 2 spaces every, because the other part we gotta worry about is making sure we're, I don't even know if we're the parking now, we're not 20 feet off the curb.
What about the, where the railroad track is there, where all the trees are? What's the scoop on that?
Railroad company owns it.
It's CSX.
Do they want to sell it?
Well, they had 2 people a few years ago that was bidding on it, and they finally got the end that said, no, we're not gonna sell it, and they pulled it out.
No, I did read an
But
article over the weekend that says they are starting to sell assets.
Yeah, I've been in contact with them on that.
I didn't know if we
And I
could
gotta
buy
get
that and
back
turn that
with
into a
them.
parking
I'd
lot.
like to see us get that piece of property, because we can use that for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Whether it's parking or something, but also the other property they had down across from the Methodist Church, it's always looks like a rat hole.
Yeah.
I think the city needs to look at, obtaining those properties, because you can make parking lot there. Yeah, is it far away? Well, it depends. I mean, if you're gonna have an event, you can't usually get close to events
Yeah.
and park anyway, but it gives us other options for things.
There's 2 or 3 spots there as you're going up North Line beside Edward Jones.
Yeah.
I guess those are city lots. I don't know, Brent, I mean. city
Probably
parking.
it's probably Brent's, ain't it? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Up against the building there.
Anybody can park there. It's not really, you know, it's on the street, so it's public parking. But the problem is everybody has to park right there in front of that door.
So it's gonna be, I mean, Bert's gonna have a hard time.
Monty, was that a railroad publication you read that on?
Yeah, it was a feed off Facebook.
So it might be
I follow
more-
CSX. for
Okay.
some reason.
So it might be more current than what we thought. It might be worth giving them a call pretty soon.
Be nice if they turn it over and let us.
Well,
turn
I'm
it
in
into
contact
parking.
with guys.
I'd like a donation part.
Yeah.
They donate it. They need tax write-offs too.
I can get the, tier ones as far as the, contamination done. I can get all that done for free. You know, if they go in and do the, for any contamination, whatever, I do have contact on that.
So you're saying that you're trying to unclassify it in the Brownsburg, is it, did I say that right?
Brownfield.
Brownfield.
Yeah, you gotta go in, you're gonna have to go in and have them do a tier 1 study on the brownfield and everything, get all
My
that.
confusion on all that, and I don't know much about the brownfield, is that if you're putting a solid surface back over top of it, where there's no way to turn the dirt,
I know.
it ought to avoid the classification of brownfield.
So
That's
solid
my-
means pavement or concrete, and it can't
Yes.
be gravel,
Yes.
Something where water cannot,
permeate. Okay.
because that's where the problem comes in, it's affecting the groundwater.
But see, the trees allegedly were planted there and said if the trees would grow and everything, then that was saying that the
Clean the
ground,
soil.
the soil is good.
And that specific type of tree.
Yeah.
Did something.
Yeah, there's like a tenth of what used to be there. The other ones died off.
I think they got storm damage.
Storm
Yeah,
damage.
they were still damaged. They were
It's a
just
soft,
left over.
it's a soft wood tree, so they're not gonna take much.
Yeah.
So, but that is some stuff in the pipeline that we're working on, so. I mean, we maintain it, we mow it and everything like that, they ought to give it to us free.
Well, that's the thing about it, Mayor, you know, so years ago, when we used to go through Florida. Florida would bill CSX every year, because they mowed, they had similar situation, they had a yard, and they mowed it, and they kept, and CSX would pay them to keep it maintained, because they don't, because it was part of, it's not part of the rail where they could spray it with God knows why. But I would think that you ought to be able to send them a bill for maintaining that ground at a common.
They've done it for so long, I don't know, but
Well,
the other thing, that line's probably never gonna be put back in, and that's the other thing we're looking at is the rails and trails. You know, when they took out the sideline there, the switch, that pretty well tells you, especially when they took it out across the 231, that tells you that line's pretty well dead.
Yeah, they took them out. From Cincinnati all the way to St. Louis. There ain't a way to get to St. Louis now.
I know I've asked you this question, is that part of the military spur out of Crane?
No,
Okay,
well, that comes out of Burn City. That's why the county tipped Burn City.
Yeah.
so it wouldn't affect it if they took it out then.
But trying to get to the person you need to talk to, it's like when I asked, but it seemed like getting all that stuff cleaned up on the north side of the fence there, all them rails and all that stuff, you know, the guy called me like, he works from home, called me back like 3 weeks later, well, by the time we already had it cleaned up.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get a quick response on anything.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely. So.
And something else that we talked about the other night when we were coming back from the police academy was lights going north of Butcher Boulevard.
Yep.
And it was obvious when you come into town how it's like the town stops or starts right there at Butcher Boulevard and comes in. There's nothing out there the other way. I mean, it's kind of sad, really. There's nothing out there. If we put lights and stuff, it'll, number one, make it safer. Number two, it tells other investors we're looking at north of town to build stuff, like the old Prairie Farms area and stuff. Somebody could build something there pretty easily. DG Mart helped us out quite a bit, but I'd say lights, the same lights we have here, all the way out to DG Mart, and kind of show everybody we're investing in the north part of town.
Or Duke Energy had a grant for that.
Yeah.
We want to be progressive here.
Yeah.
I think Connie with Jones Oil was wanting to put their offices and stuff out there. The old Prairie Farms thing. They have plans for a big office and stuff there.
Yeah.
I know another place here
Another
locally.
distraction.
Who's that? Who's that?
Not necessarily. We can, but we'd have to annex. If we annex, we'd have to go through the
I don't
county.
know about that, but I know there's another place here in town that was looking to build a pretty good
They have
size. They were actually, they were looking at that property there where the trees are at.
So, yeah, so
Oh,
they were involved in
Yeah,
the whole
build a
annexation of
warehouse, huge
the
warehouse and stuff
Miller-
like that,
the
so.
Miller self-annex.
They, years ago.
But we talked to them to make sure they were okay with it. Yes. So if we did something that like a housing development outside the city limits, the county would be involved.
Well, if there's nothing else, we've, managed to burn about 45 minutes here. That's a good discussion.
So on here, it's got the new business. Are we gonna, do we need to talk about any of the TIF stuff or are we good on that? Everybody good on that? Do you have any questions on it from?
No, I understand. It's just, we had them up before.
Okay. You know, it's the one that's Shady Estates on there. That's
Yeah.
a big property, so.
If nothing else, I'll,
Sounds like my son driving through town.
yep.
Give them
Guarantee
toys,
it.
don't play with them.
Ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Dave. Second.
A second.
Justin, all in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting will be February, the second Monday in February at 5.